Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, two gone down minutes apart in Greenwich Farm. Hours after the passage of Hurricane Beryl and the discontinuation of an island-wide curfew on Thursday morning, two men were shot dead in Greenwich Farm, Kingston. The deceased have so far only been identified by their aliases Benji and Bossy. The news understands that both men were gunned down mere minutes apart at around 10:30 a.m. Benji reportedly met his demise at the intersection of 5th Street and 1st Avenue in the community. He was killed by unknown assailants. It is understood that less than 1 hour later, about 50 meters away from that scene, Bossy was also murdered. Police said it was not immediately clear whether the two incidents were related. There is reportedly an ongoing feud between rival gangs in the community. Police say decomposed body found on Port Henderson Road, not a missing Arnett Gardens man. The police are dismissing reports that decomposed body found on Port Henderson Road Thursday morning is that of the man who washed away in floodwaters on Wednesday after attempting to retrieve a football from a gully. According to the police, officers were summoned to the location about 8:30 a.m. when they discovered a body in an advanced state of decomposition. The police say that based on the advanced state of decomposition of the body, it is not believed to be that of the man who washed away. They said an early post-mortem will be done on the body as investigations continue. 3 cases of carbon monoxide poisoning in Jamaica during hurricane, says MOHW. The Ministry of Health and Wellness says it has received reports of 3 cases of carbon monoxide poisoning related to persons using generators and failing to follow safety guidelines during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Health Ministry made the disclosure in a press release on Thursday. The locations and the conditions of the persons affected were not disclosed. On Wednesday, scores of Jamaicans were left without electricity as the hurricane caused several power outages and flooding in a number of communities. Health officials, however, used the release to remind the public of the precautions to take to avoid similar events in the future. Do not use them indoors or in enclosed areas. Keep generators in a dry area. Water will damage generators as well as produce an electrical hazard. The generator should be kept at a safe distance from structures because of engine heat. Avoid using appliances that have a heating element, for example, toaster or hair dryer. Select the outlet that uses the correct voltage, as some generators have the ability to produce 115, 120 volts or 220 volts. Brace for more rain as a tropical depression develops near Lesser Antilles. Jamaicans are being advised to brace for more rain as a tropical depression has developed west of the Lesser Antilles. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, the system is not expected to intensify further. However, it is likely to bring showers over the weekend to Jamaica, raising concerns following the recent impact of Hurricane Beryl on Wednesday. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has predicted an above-normal hurricane season for 2024. NOAA's outlook for the Atlantic hurricane season from June 1 to November 30 forecast between 17 to 25 named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Among these, 8 to 13 storms could become hurricanes, winds of 74 miles per hour or higher, including 4 to 7 major hurricanes, Category 3, 4, or 5, with winds of 111 miles per hour or higher. Bunting says he is disappointed with a GPS and NWA response. People's National Party representative for Manchester Southern, Peter Bunting, says he is disappointed with the response of Jamaica Public Service and the National Works Agency in Manchester, one of the parishes most affected by the recent passage of Hurricane Beryl. Bunting, who says he has been on the road since morning, claims that he has not seen one GPS or NWA response vehicle.
Well, I am very disappointed that I've been on the road from morning and I have not encountered one GPS repair truck. We're on the main road, the main east-west corridor at Spur Tree. There's a pole here blocking the road. There are a number of poles that have been broken, GPS poles, and being up and down from morning on the roads, I've not seen one GPS vehicle, I've not seen one NWA vehicle, and the weather has been clear from morning. There's been nothing preventing the operations from taking place. So I would have expected that vehicles would have been pre-positioned, particularly knowing that the Clarendon, Manchester and St. Elizabeth were the areas that the meteorologists had predicted would have been most heavily impacted. So I'm very disappointed today.
Police urge caution as recovery efforts get underway. The police are urging members of the public to exercise caution as they venture out to undertake various recovery activities following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Persons are being asked to be mindful that several roadways remain blocked by downed trees and utility poles, which may impact movement along the roadways. According to the police, the Bog Walker Gorge remains closed, along with several roadways in rural St. Andrew, Portland, St. Mary, and western Jamaica. Among them are Guava Gap in St. Andrew, Guys Hill in St. Mary, and the Mavis Bank and the Lawrence Tavern in St. Andrew. Members of the public are also being reminded that the risk of electrocution is heightened during this time, and as such, persons should exercise extreme caution whilst carrying out their cleanup activities. The public, including visitors to the island, are also being reminded that both major airports remain closed. The operators of the Stanxer International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, have advised that operations are set to resume at 6 p.m. on Thursday, July 4. Meanwhile, the Norman Manley International Airport is scheduled to reopen on Friday, July 5 at 5 a.m. Passengers have been asked to first make contact with their airlines before leaving home. Beware of leptospirosis, Health Ministry warns. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is advising members of the public that the risk of being infected with diseases such as leptospirosis increases after the passage of heavy rainfall. Leptospirosis is a disease that spreads from animals to humans, caused by infection with the bacteria Leptospira. The most common sources of infection are contact with the urine of infected animals, such as rodents, and/or contaminated soil or water. Outbreaks may occur following periods of heavy rain or flooding. The public is therefore being advised to do the following: avoid swimming, wading, playing in waters that resulted from flooding. Avoid food that could have been contaminated with animal urine. Wear protective clothing and footwear if you will be exposed to contaminated water and soil. Digicel and Flow working towards restoring services. Telecommunications providers Digicel and Flow say they are working assiduously to have cell and internet service restored to customers who have been without. In a statement on Thursday, Digicel explained that as a result of loss of public power supply to several cell sites across the country, many customers have been experiencing difficulties accessing various services. Having largely maintained uptime during the hurricane, Digicel's heat map is now showing over 50% of cell sites off air. Approximately 25% of its cell sites are still running on generator and battery power, the statement read in part. Chief Executive Officer of Digicel, Stephen Murad, said his team is currently working to address the damage as a matter of urgency. Right now, speed of recovery is everything. The sooner we're able to get a power supply, the sooner we'll be able to restore service to our customers on the affected sites, he said, adding that a part of the company's focus is ensuring that the digital operator returns to 100% network availability within the shortest time possible. Our hardworking teams are moving about the country to quickly assess and restore service. As a primary provider of connectivity to over 2 million people, We know how important it is for them to stay connected. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, and we thank our customers for their patience and understanding, he said. Flow, through their social media platforms, said their teams are also working to restore vital services to their valued customers. The company thanked its customers for their patience as they work towards repairing infrastructural damage that has contributed to service disruption. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.